Why failure is actually a good thing. Lawrence created an oil painting with the goal of selling it at a craft fair. It didn't sell. He painted another painting, then another one, and still was unable to sell them. After years of painting, all he had to show for it was a stack of paintings piled in the corner of his studio. He felt like a failure and wondered if he should give up. Failure is something that occurs to everyone at one point or another. Maybe you didn't get into an art exhibition or wasn't shortlisted for an artist residency. Whatever the reason, failure can sting and leave a mark. But what you might be surprised to learn is that failure can actually be a good thing. And here are the first 5 reasons that your failure might just make you a better artist. Reason number 1: failure is a learning experience. When you do fail, it can become a powerful learning experience if you let it. Throughout history, there are successful artists who only achieved their success after learning from their failures. Charles Schulz or Walt Disney, for example. It might be the same for you. There are valuable lessons or takeaways that you can apply to your life as long as you are willing to peer beyond the surface of what happened or what went wrong. Failure doesn't feel good, and it can be upsetting, but let it become a tool you can use rather than a stumbling block. Reason number 2: you are ready for the next step. Failure can prepare you for the next step. Many babies take a single step and then fall down. But that first step will lead to a next step and another until they've mastered walking. Once you fail the first time, it gives you insight that you can use for the next step. When you learn what doesn't work, it can open your mind and help you realize why that was the wrong direction. Reason number 3: failure means you took action. Failure doesn't happen by itself. It's the direct result of you taking action. This is actually a good thing. Here's why. Taking action always feels better than sitting on the sidelines and wishing you'd tried. The easiest way to ensure you have a life filled with regrets is to sit out of the game. Rather than staying on the sidelines and wishing you'd tried, it's better to try and fail. You will walk away with that failure having learned something that you can put to use in your life. Reason number 4: you learned more about yourself. Failure does more than just show you what will work and what doesn't work. It teaches you about yourself and who you really are as an artist. It does this by revealing elements of your personality that maybe you overlooked, or things about yourself that you've tried to downplay or shove aside. For example, you might discover after failed attempts at ceramics classes that you hate wheel throwing and prefer to hand build. This failure actually taught you more about your creative style. Perhaps you discovered that the only reason you took ceramics class to begin with was because you were trying to please someone else. You don't actually enjoy wheel throwing. This can reveal to you that you may be letting others have too much say in what to do in your career. Reason number 5: failure makes you resilient. It might sound counterproductive, but failure does increase your resilience. The majority of people who fail don't remain where failure first left them. Instead, they experience the failure, but turn around and get back up again. It might take a few days, a week, or even longer, but you don't have to let failure have the last word. Instead, you can rise again because failure can be a source of motivation that pushes you to keep going. When you use failure as motivation, it sends a message to yourself that failure isn't the end of the world. It's simply something that you encountered and now you're moving on. Tune in to part 2 as I cover another 5 reasons that your failure might just make you a better artist.